Absolutely fantastic as the Phoenix Suns are leading Team USA. That is right. After the first Olympic showing versus Serbia, we saw Kevin Durant bounce back from injury and Devin Booker really showcase how he can be a two-way player at the Olympic level. I'm absolutely fantastic to be breaking down and talking about all of this and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. You guys have been absolutely fantastic hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date and in the algorithm for Suns daily content, hit that like button. We're trying something new here on Suns Digest. But without further ado, let's dive into the topic at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I mentioned, Kevin Durant is back, ladies and gentlemen. He was out for Team USA throughout the exhibition games, maintaining some injuries, but he has bounced back and proven coming off the bench that he can be a lethal scorer for this Olympic squad. Also, Devin Booker has been very, very great as well, and we'll dive in and talk about him in a little bit. But first, I would like to break down and talk about how the Suns are being very, very impactful for this Team USA squad. Like I mentioned, Team USA took on Serbia today, won 110-84. And even though Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton were the two Team USA players that did not play, the rest of the guys got some run, and Booker and Kevin Durant being so efficient in that run may have led to Tyrese and Jason Tatum not getting as much time with this squad. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker did combine to put up some very, very great stats. But if we want to look at Kevin Durant's stats throughout tonight's game versus Serbia, he put up 23 points, only missing one shot from the field, 8 for 9 from the field, not missing a three, 5 for 5 with 2 rebounds. Absolutely fantastic for this squad. And someone that I think needs to have that, pedigree on this championship team. We obviously know LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. These guys are, I don't want to say like the founding fathers for all these young guys, but they are, the guys that are viewed in the legacy for this Team USA squad. Obviously, guys like Ant, Tatum, Halliburton, they got to work their way up. But the unks of the team, I guess, per se, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, these guys all made these NBA players want to play basketball, pursue basketball. They are all their idols. So these guys really need to take over, show over, and prove to these youngins, like, hey, you guys are athletic, you guys are quick, you guys have the next step, but we have the experience, we have the durability, and we know what to do when to take over for this Team USA squad. We saw LeBron do it an abundance of times for Team USA during the exhibition games, and I'm loving that Kevin Durant is also doing the same thing for the Suns and Team USA here. He's showing that leadership, showing that he can be that true leader. And I'm hoping that some of this can translate and taking over for Team USA to the Suns as well. Now, I know the Suns have Booker, have Beal, have all these other stars, but Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, if they can really lock in and harness playing like this and having this chemistry with this Suns roster, with having some solid defense, making some changes around the edges, this is just making it more and more enticing for Suns fans like ourselves to be ready for the season, to be ready to go, to be wanting to fight for that playoff spot. Because if we see Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, this Suns team stay healthy, we already know on paper that they can tear stuff up, and we're seeing it with our very eyes at this moment. I'm very grateful that Kevin Durant has bounced back from this injury. He looks like he is in rhythm. He looks like he's going to be a stable part of Team USA's offense in continuation with the Olympics. And I think that's also great for him in his game, but also for his pushing and trying to develop and getting ready for the season as well, with this Suns squad being that, very focal, one of the focal options for this Suns roster. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like I said, Kevin Durant excelled from the mid-range, was excelling from three-point range, was a very, very great contributor for the Suns in today's game. Next, we're going to be diving in and looking at Devin Booker as well, because he was also a monumental piece for the Team USA success and is looking like he is showcasing and highlighting his defensive ability for the rest of the world to see, which I am very, very ecstatic to be breaking down. Like I mentioned, Devin Booker versus Serbia didn't have, the greatest offensive performance, maybe as much as a guy in Kevin Durant did, really taking over and controlling, but he was efficient in the shots that he took and was filling up the stat sheet in other ways. Booker finished with 12 points, making 4 out of his 5 3-point attempts that he did make, so being a primarily 3-point shooter for Team USA, with 5 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals, filling out the stat sheet and making sure he can help on the defensive side of the ball. Like I mentioned, those 2 steals are huge, and this Team USA today, at least for their starting lineup, ran a three-guard lineup. Had Steph Curry, had Drew Holiday, had Devin Booker alongside Joel Embiid and LeBron James. Therefore, Devin Booker is kind of playing a little bit more of that small forward role and has to, prioritize being a better defender and working on that side of the ball more effectively than he has to on his offensive side because he has other playmakers and guys to help him out, like Curry and stuff like that. Now, ultimately, Booker did solid on the defensive side and even got some praise here as well. We want to look at this from Don Staley. He said that Devin Booker is the unsung hero of this USA team today, stating that Devin Booker can play both sides of the ball and score a whole lot of basketball points and can also defend. He's like the quiet assassin of that group. And I really, really do want to give that praise to Devin Booker because he is on a team with all these great names. And even though Devin Booker doesn't really have that legacy to his name. He's one of the league's best scorers, best shooters, and one of the league's best offensive players. So having him getting this recognition on his offensive side, but also on the defensive side, a side that a lot of people like to knack on or necessarily pick on when looking at Devin Booker. That is something that I personally love to see. Like I mentioned, these guys both combined and had a fantastic performance for Team USA today. Combined for 12 for 15 from the field, missed only 2 3-pointers in total. Just absolutely fantastic. What you want to see out of your 1-2 tandem. And like I said, hoping that leading into the season and getting kind of closer and closer, if Kevin Durant and Devin Booker look to be this effective on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball at some points, this needs to translate over to the Suns, and this could be huge for the Suns season because, like we mentioned, the Suns are in a Western Conference where a lot of teams are younger and growing and getting better, where the Suns are at the point where they already have their core and are trying to get some younger and other pieces kind of built in. We've seen teams like the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Warriors either be a little bit stagnant or taking a little bit of, steps back due to the second apron. And the Suns are the one team that are in that kind of grouping that haven't yet. So I am expecting the Suns to still be a contending team, still being a top team, and still fighting for, a top three, top four seed in the Western Conference. And if healthy, from looking at the small sample size that we've already seen from the USA, translating that into the Suns team, I know it's completely different. I think that the Suns can do so. Let me know what you guys think down below. And lastly, how will this play? How this team will play for the remaining games is what we're going to be deciding because there were some controversies. Like I mentioned, Halliburton didn't really play. A guy in Jason Tatum did not play, and that was due to the fact that Kevin Durant was back in this lineup and was excelling. Ultimately, I could see if Booker or Durant isn't having the best offensive night, or maybe even defensive night with Booker getting cooked a little bit, we could see a guy like Halliburton or Tatum kind of thrown in his place and kind of used in those rotations. But ultimately, that's something that we're going to still have to wait and see. At this very moment, I still see Booker and Durant being prominent features of this offense and defense for Team USA. And Booker is getting the start with Team USA squad. So you got to give it to Steve Kerr. You got to let him kind of run that and kind of let him experiment with that. And we'll wait and see. Maybe this is a little bit of a test for Devin Booker at small forward throughout the season, running with Tyus Jones and Bradley Beal. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to break that down. We'll have to figure all of that out. But like I said, let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, Team USA 110-84 win versus Serbia. Absolutely huge. Where Durant and Booker both showcase that they can be prominent offensive and defensive players for Team USA, and hopefully that can translate for the Suns this season with their new roster. Like I said, if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this Suns team, even Olympic updates like this, little tidbits, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as Suns Digest is the daily place for Suns content for you guys. Once again, I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns.